What's that? What's that? Ah, it's the snake again.
It's the snake.
I'm gonna replay your voice there like 4 times. It's gonna be like, it's the snake, the snake, the snake.
The snake. The snake. The snake.
And now they've got like 20 times.
Yeah.
And a few more. Hey, as video, like if this is the video timeline that we've been making these videos for.
Yeah.
And that's the x-axis.
Okay.
Y-axis is quality of intro.
Oh my gosh. It's just down.
No, it might be exponential. It might be an exponential down curve.
We used to just be like, bang, 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 bang. Videos in. Now it's like, whatever the hell that was.
All right, today, I just for some reason had Ekhart Tolle on the heart.
That's incredible. I love that feeling when it's just like, this teacher's for me today.
Yeah, we'll see if it happens.
Yeah.
But then this also seems like a relevant question to us right now. What is the purpose of the ego in the awakening process?
Don't know her.
I've never met the ego.
Okay.
Do we need ego only for the purpose to find out that we are not it? Or could it be useful for anything else?
That question had some attitude in it.
I like that question a lot. Yeah.
Like, do I really need this for anything, or can I just move on?
Yeah.
All right.
Ego is a necessary stage to go through, because there is a pre-egoic stage for humans, there was, where they live in relative happiness compared to the egoic state, in a simple oneness with nature, with each other in tribal communities. But
Okay. Here's where I get a little caught up. First of all, 2 things. First of all, Sadhguru says, when you were 5, you were happy unless someone made you sad. Like, your baseline, basically, was happiness. How have you not gone up from there?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I almost think... See, I already lost because I said think. But almost... it's kind of like... If... What it sounded like to me is... If you were always in that kid state, then other people could always make you sad. Outside could always make you sad. And then it's almost like an ego forms around that other thing making you sad until that can dissolve.
Ah, I like that.
So it's almost like a kid is enlightened in a sense. And maybe all beings on this planet, he's kind of making it sound like he's talking about the evolution of humans and saying like, before we were human, maybe a bit more like the animals and plants you see around. Maybe you are one with everything, but you don't recognize that you're one with everything. That's how much you're one with everything.
Yeah.
So it's like the possibility of a human is this build of ego that can then dissolve.
Which is crazy. But, okay, the second thing
Yes.
was whenever a teacher, like anyone, any teacher, I've heard this many times, talks about things like the prehistoric or like humanity way back when.
Yeah.
They talk about like, how is that not a mental projection or concept?
Yeah.
That gets me.
They speak as if they were there.
Right.
Which I've heard people say that the Buddha was able to say all of the incarcerations he ever was. Incarnations. Is it incarcerations?
I've been in
All of-
jail.
hey, maybe it was.
Oh.
All of the... What's the word?
Incarnations.
Incarnations he's ever been. Back to like single cell organism.
Yeah.
So I don't know if an enlightened being is able to tap in to the point where they understand where their past was.
That one messes me up.
But all right, we got 50 seconds into this.
Okay.
Let's see where Ekahart goes with it.
Yeah.
For the growth of consciousness, we have to go through the egoic stage, form identity developing. The ego is not to be totally, the ego has its purpose. You cannot become awakened without going through the ego. It's like having those pre-egoic societies, people lived in oneness with nature. They didn't even know it. They didn't know that they lived in oneness with nature. They just did. So, in order to experience or to know something at a deeper level, you have to go through a loss of it first. You go through a loss, as described in the parable of what is called the prodigal son in the New Testament. The prodigal son is the son of a father who loves him and is wealthy, but he wants to lead his own life. He leaves the father's home, goes to a foreign country, gradually squanders his wealth and becomes destitute. He loses his connection to the source of happiness and wealth. And then messengers come to remind him who he is and that the father wants him back. So he then returns to the father's home, and then he is known by the father, and the father loves him more now. So he is back home, but it's not the same home as before. There is an added dimension to it that wasn't there before. So we are all prodigal sons. We have to lose our sense of oneness in order to regain it at a deeper, more conscious level, our connectedness to the source.
Ramdas says a similar thing.
Really?
I've gone through processes of being resistant to that, letting go of that whole thing. Like the whole purpose of life is just like to realize yourself, to awaken. Definitely had some resistance to that at certain points. It's been an interesting journey for me.
There's that song that says like, you don't know what you got till it's gone.
Yeah.
I think that's a very true statement at its core. And I think it's interesting how he said, once you return, there is a new dimension to it.
I missed that.
You know, like a new liveliness, a new meaning. And it's I like
it too.
because I've definitely experienced.
Landing with me well. Yeah.
Before it was an unconscious connectedness, which just resulted in relatively unproblematic life. Simple, unproblematic life. And then, so it's paradise lost and paradise regained. When paradise is regained, it is regained at a much deeper level than before. There's an added dimension of consciousness there, and that is there because we moved through the egoic stage. And what we learned in the egoic stage will not be totally discarded. The form identity remains. Our next stage is in the evolution of humanities. Once humans are rooted in being, the next stage is conscious creation, where humans can manifest without having to go through the laborious processes that at the moment we still have to go through. Factories, heavy technology.
Shade?
Yeah.
That's just massive. Like his tone totally shifted there.
Yeah. You're like, technologies. At this point, we should just be creating things with our mind. It's like, is that what he was just saying, bro?
I don't know.
I mean, it makes me think of Shuri M just making some stuff appear. And it's like, what's possible? I don't know.
Dude, that's the coolest thing. Is that we don't even know. Like, it already feels like so much magic is out there. Like, the world is getting more and more magical the deeper you go. But there's so much more that you don't know. So much more that you don't know.
See, but that's kind of the cool thing about this analogy of the prodigal son. Is that what it's called?
I think so, yeah.
Is that you and I would have never thought about magic in depth until we had been away from the magic in depth. And then you return, and then you're like,
look at that. Yeah. It's kind of incredible how he talks about it as if it's just a natural cycle. You go through the egoic stage, is what he calls it. Huh? Like, that's just humanity's going through their egoic stage to reach the next stage.
whatever that is.
Whatever
That stage
that
is infinite?
Dude.
Do we become serpents?
Wrong person to ask. If you have not seen the Shri M video, watch that whole thing.
Yes.
Because you will have to watch that to understand this, because that is on our minds right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
For the for the future of humanity, I don't necessarily see an ever increasing technology. It is more likely that technology is one branch of human's development, but not the branch that will lead further up the tree.
Wow.
Yeah.
The ability to manifest through consciousness you already have it to some extent. There are things that you can manifest in your life, especially if you are rooted in the consciousness. So it's not the ego that wants to manifest, but the consciousness can use you as a vehicle for what it wants to manifest consciously in this world.
That's the thing. That's the thing. That's the thing that removes the ego for me. Is when you become the channel. And by become the channel, I mean whatever this is, it's almost like you don't even trust it. It's like you just tilt your head back and just allow it. And just completely let go. And it's not even with the idea that it's doing the right thing. It's like you just let go.
Because it's got to be past right and wrong at that point.
Exactly.
Because all of your conceptions of it are going to be just your little concepts from your past.
Which is going to limit the flow from happening. But when it's flowing, it's not you doing the things. It's others' perceptions of you doing the things.
Oh, yucky. In a good way.
Yucky in a good way. Because that just takes all the pressure off. It's like you just lean back and let the universe steer your ship. And then you cannot do any wrong because you're not the one doing it to do wrong.
And wherever you end up is going to be where you end up.
And that's great.
And that's that.
That's that.
We were in the Shri M that we were just listening to. We also started talking a bit about like dreams and your interaction with dream characters. I was just talking about this. But one of the things that keeps coming back to me is that the best dreams, the like most unexpected, because what is like the best experience besides an unexpected experience, you know?
Amen.
Like,
amen.
But
yes.
But then, oh my gosh, what I've been thinking about is freedom between other people. Like this whole idea of liberation.
Yes.
Whatever the hell that is.
Yes.
In life, it's kind of scary to liberate things Because once something is free, you don't have control over it.
Mm-hmm.
Not that you ever had control over it, but you don't have preconceived control over it.
Yes.
Or perceived control
Yes,
over
yes,
it.
yes, yes, yes.
And then the most fascinating thing in dreams and in real life is that the more you liberate the people around you, the more amazing the experience becomes, because all of the sudden there are these other conscious things doing things, and you're just chilling. And it makes me think about the idea of like a whole consciousness that runs through all of us.
Yeah.
Makes me feel like it is that on a mass scale. It's giving us all this freedom, and it's just chilling.
Woo!
You know?
And we're finding our way back all by ourselves.
Yeah.
Kinda.
Well, I mean, we're it, so it's like...
Woo! That's lovely.
Yeah.
Thank you for that gem.
You're welcome.
So a time will come when we can manifest what now we laboriously produce energy. It's absurd how we use, where we seek energy in fossil fuels and so on.
I want to know what he's thinking.
Ultimately,
Yeah, no. See, he's... I can't tell if he's like thinking a million other things, or like has a million other things that he could say that's just making him giggle, or maybe he's just in on the little giggle, the cosmic one, that's just like always there. But
I feel like he's got some stuff up his sleeve.
yeah. But it does.
Maybe it's not time yet.
There's certain times where, if I am in the most, what the heck do you call it? That state. That's all I need to say. You know. Things do become very funny. It's like you could just say fossil fuels, and you don't even have to go through the process of how like dumb
Messed
it
up,
is.
yeah.
You just giggle at that point because it's all there in front of you, and it's not. It's like where Ekhart Tolle is at. It's not serious. Nothing is serious. So it's just something to giggle at. It's like you mentioned fossil fuels. It's like you don't even have to explain it.
And the interesting thing, I think, is that if you are to giggle in front of our past selves,
Yes.
or in front of people who are currently really in it,
Yeah.
that is the most offensive thing.
Yeah, like you're belittling the fossil fuel industry.
The end of
Like,
humanity.
The end of humanity.
You're
yeah.
belittling it. And it's like...
It's just that little, as Ramdas says, flip in consciousness to make you realize that seriousness does not solve any issues.
Yes. And that when you are in that type of space, you are going to make such a better decision
Yeah.
on how things should be
Yeah,
run.
yeah.
Because if someone had that giggle at the beginning of our fossil fuel and car epidemic,
Yeah.
they would have been like, that's silly. Why don't we just build our stuff closer together so we can walk? And that would have been that.
That would have been that. And the giggle would have saved the day.
It's hilarious.
Well, we're here.
Yeah, we're here.
obviously, the next step is there are two inexhaustible sources of energy. One is outer and one is inner. The outer inexhaustible energy is our sun. It's an outpouring of energy and it's virtually limitless, although we know that the sun has a lifespan, but that is not relevant to us because the lifespan is a few more million years. And that is an inexhaustible supply of energy on the outer. And then even the sun is only an external expression of the inexhaustible energy that is the source of all life. So it's just an outer manifestation And this is why ancient traditions, what
Dude, just how awesome is it that tons of people just tuned in to watch a guy in a sweater vest, like sitting in a doctor's chair with like maybe fake flowers and a little notebook, like a cute little man, just chat away about like pretty incredible things.
Hilarious.
Just like how many people? 42,000 people in like a day.
Yeah.
Plus all the people in the audience are just, yeah, I'm here for it. Like,
Two things on the sun stuff.
yeah.
First, Sadhguru said something that blew both of our minds in the last, what's it called? Full moon flirtation.
Yeah.
Where he goes, the first thing you need to understand about fire, about sun, is that fire doesn't exist because of the sun. The sun exists because of fire.
Oh, I forgot about that. Oh, I forgot about that.
Like
Oh.
That's something to think about.
Woo.
Something to do more than think about.
Holy smokes.
Number 2, Dr. Zach Bush, a guy who we haven't listened to in a while, but
Yeah.
has some crazy insights, potentially right about some things, potentially wrong about some other things.
Yeah.
But one really fascinating thing that he's said, that he's talked about, is the way that the cells in our body produce energy. And it's like from a plant that takes this energy from the sun and then goes into our system and gets turned into energy, that our system is, this might be wrong, but this is just to give you guys an idea and to make you start being like, whoa, what the heck? That the mitochondria is 10,000 times more energy efficient than the solar energy itself. Like that somehow the things inside of us are more efficient than the original source coming down. It's like just some stuff.
Just some
stuff to look into. Maybe I'm wrong.
worshipped the sun, because in a way one could say, well, that's very much like God, because it's a continuous giving of life. It's a life-giving entity, not asking anything back. It just gives of itself continuously. So when people say energy is limited, of course energy is not limited. It's only where we look for it that's limited. If we continue to look for it in fossil fuels and so on, that's limited and can be very harmful. But energy itself is not limited. The sun is unlimited and the source of all life is unlimited. We just have to find, so the next step is using sun energy, and then after that is being able to use the energy, source energy, for creation. You can't even imagine what even science fiction books, can't even think of any that have even thought of what life can be when humans can effortlessly generate or manifest what they need or want. But it won't be, they will not manifest superfluous or unnecessary things as the ego would. So let's not go too far into that.
Oh, yeah, that's,
Spicy.
that was just like a little taste,
Yeah.
a little taste.
Spicy.
It reminded me of like what Shri M went a little bit deeper into in his video. It's like, that is consistently amazing to me, is what life is capable of.
Yes, I like that you stopped saying human.
Yes.
Said life.
What life is capable of that we could have never perceived, or still cannot currently perceive. And it's just...
What a time to be alive.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah?
Come on now.
I guess.
Ring ring.
Who's there?
It's life. Pick it up. Let's do it. No!
Video's over.
That means let's do it now.
Yeah, let's do it now.
Let's do it
This
now.
video's over.
This video's over. Much
Much
love.
love.